All right, if you're a C# developer, you know the deal. For years, it's felt like living in two totally different worlds, right? You've got your clean, structured C# backend, and then there's the wild west of JavaScript on the front end. But what if that wall between them just came crashing down? Well, today we're talking about Blazor. It's this technology that's promising a massive C# revolution for the full stack. We're going to break down what it is, how it actually works, and figure out if it's the right move for you. But let's just get right to it with the big question. The one that I know is on every backend dev's mind. What if you could build slick, modern, interactive web apps, and you never had to write a single line of JavaScript ever again? Sounds like a dream, right? Well, that's the incredible promise we're going to dig into today. Okay, so to really get why Blazor is such a game changer, we first have to talk about the why. We need to rewind a bit and look at the problem it's built to solve, and that's the good old pain of the split stack world. You know, for the past couple of decades, the browser has really only spoken one language, JavaScript. It started out simple, making things blink and move, but then, come the 2010s, boom, frameworks like React and Angular just exploded onto the scene, creating this huge, hard divide. And this is where the problem starts for C# developers. Suddenly, you're forced to be bilingual, but not in a fun way. You've got your nice, safe, typed C# world on the back end, and then you have to switch gears completely to this totally separate, sometimes chaotic JavaScript universe for the front end. And here's the thing. It's not just about writing in a different language. That's only part of it. It's about wrestling with two completely different ecosystems, two sets of tools, two package managers. It's a constant mental gymnastics, switching back and forth. You end up writing the same logic twice, you're fighting with some new build tool every week, and you're just wasting so much time and energy. But what if it didn't have to be that way? This is where we get to what I like to call the C# dream. This amazing idea of finally unifying the full stack. And that dream, well, it has a name, Blazor. So what is it? It's pretty simple, actually. It's a framework from Microsoft that lets you build awesome, interactive web UIs using the language you're already an expert in, C#. So what does it actually mean for your day-to-day work? It means your backend API, your front-end UI, and yeah, even your data validation logic. It can all be written in C#. One language, one set of data models to rule them all. That right there is the absolute core of what makes Blazor so powerful. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Hold on. C# in the browser? Is this like Flash or Silverlight all over again? And the answer is a big, resounding no. This is totally different. Blazor is built on top of modern, standard web tech. So let's pull back the curtain and look at the two kinds of magic that actually make this whole thing possible. So Blazor basically gives you two main flavors, two different ways to run your C# code. You can have it run right inside the user's browser. We're talking maximum near-native speed. Or you can have it run on the server, which gives you this super lightweight, crazy fast initial load. Let's break them both down. First up, we've got Blazor WebAssembly, or WASM for short. Now, think of WebAssembly as this kind of universal bytecode for the web. It's a way for browsers to run code that isn't JavaScript. With Blazor, what happens is a tiny version of the .NET runtime gets downloaded to the user's browser just once. And after that, your C# code runs directly on their machine, like full speed ahead. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like this. It's like running a high-performance video game, but it's happening right inside a Chrome tab. The speed is amazing, it can work offline once it's loaded, and the whole experience just feels super snappy and responsive. Okay, so that's the powerhouse client-side option. But what about the other model, Blazor Server? This one's pretty cool. Here, all your C# code actually stays on the server. So when a user clicks a button on your site, a tiny little message gets zipped over to the server using this real-time connection called SignalR. The server does its thing, figures out exactly what needs to change on the screen, and sends back just the tiniest snippet of HTML to update the UI. The result? The initial page load is practically in. So now you're probably thinking, okay, which one do I pick? Do I go with server for that instant load time or WebAssembly for that raw client-side power? Well, here's the best part. You don't have to choose. The modern standard is something called auto mode, and it's basically the best of both worlds. Here's how it works. The page loads instantly using Blazor Server, but while you're already clicking around, the WebAssembly stuff is downloading quietly in the background. And then once it's ready, the app just seamlessly switches over to the client-side WebAssembly mode for everything else. It is absolutely brilliant. Okay, the tech is super fascinating, right? But what about the real world? Why are actual companies choosing to build with Blazor? Well, when you boil it all down, it really comes down to one single killer feature.
Let's talk about something every single developer deals with: validation rules. Just imagine a super simple one, right? A password needs to be at least, say, 8 characters long. Easy. So, in the old split stack world, what do? First, you write that logic in C# on your backend API to protect your data. Then, you have to rewrite the exact same logic in JavaScript for the front end so the user gets instant feedback. You've got 2 pieces of code to maintain, 2 places for bugs to creep in, 2 sources of headaches. The Blazor way? You write that validation logic one time in C#. That's it. End of story. And you're probably wondering, how does that even work? It's thanks to a really simple but incredibly powerful idea: the shared library. It's literally just another C# project in your solution that holds all your shared code, like a user class that has the validation rules right on it. And here's the magic: both your front-end Blazor project and your back-end API project can reference this same library. One code base, one source of truth for all your business rules. It's a game changer.
All right, I know, Blazor sounds pretty incredible, but let's be real, no technology is a silver bullet for every single problem. So it's time for a quick reality check. Is Blazor actually the right fit for you and your team?
So let's put it head to head with the JavaScript giants like React and Angular. You can see right away the big difference is the language, of course. JavaScript versus C#. Now, the JS ecosystem with NPM is absolutely massive. You can't deny that. NuGet is big, but it's smaller. But check out performance. Where JS frameworks are super optimized for messing with the web page itself, Blazor's WASM model gives you this incredible near-native speed for heavy lifting. But the real story here is the last 2 rows. Look at that learning curve. If you already know .NET, it's incredibly low. And that points directly to the best use case: enterprise and business-to-business apps. Think complex admin dashboards, internal line of business tools, anything where you can reuse a ton of existing C# logic.
So let's just spell it out. Who is Blazor perfect for? Well, first, it's for any .NET developer out there who's been told they need to build a modern web UI. It's also an absolute home run for enterprise teams building internal tools, admin panels, that kind of thing. And finally, it's for any full-stack engineer who just loves the safety and stability that comes with a strongly typed language and a mature ecosystem. But let's be fair, who is Blazor not for? Well, if you just want to build a simple, static blog, Blazor's probably overkill. There are much simpler tools for that job. And obviously, if your team has 0 C# or .NET experience, you're looking at a pretty steep learning curve. And hey, if you're a developer who genuinely loves the wild, massive, sprawling JS ecosystem and having a million NPM packages for every little thing, you might feel a little constrained here. And that really brings us to the final question we should leave you with. After seeing how Blazor can tear down that wall between the front end and the back end, the question to ask yourself isn't just, can I avoid JavaScript? It's bigger than that. It's about efficiency, it's about consistency, it's about power. So, could a single language, your language, C#, truly power your entire stack from top to bottom? For a whole lot of developers and teams out there, the answer is finally a loud, clear yes.